All right, welcome back to Blue by 90. I'm Justin, joined by Tanner, and today we've got a special guest, somebody who's coming back to Michigan for 2025, Derrick Moore, defensive end for the Wolverines. Derrick, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Appreciate y'all having me.
Of course, man. Of course. We're excited to have you back. Let's start there. What was the process like for you to make that decision, deciding, all right, we're either testing out the draft or, coming back and making a run for it in 2025?
Really, I really want to say it really wasn't the process. I feel like I kind of already had my mind made up. After talking with like my family and also Coach Moore, I just felt like I needed to run it back one more time. I just felt like last year just wasn't a year that we were planning on having, and it was just really a lesson. I talked to Coach Moore about it. It was a lesson for all of us. Being into like new roles and filling new shoes from like players and coaches. And I feel like now we know how it feels to be on the other side. And I told him that, and I said, like, when I got here, that like this wasn't the standard. So I want to help rebuild the standard and help rebuild the team to get us back to where we were 2 years ago.
Derrick, what do you think was the end of the year? You're playing phenomenal on defense. You're, playing some of the best offenses in the country, and they can't move the ball. They can't score. What do you think was the biggest, I don't know if it was a change or just a light, just coming on? Like, what was that moment that you look back to and it's like, that's when the defense started to play the way that we know we could have all year? Towards the end of the year.
I really want to say like we've been playing like really well and really like good together, but I feel like when it got to like that Ohio State game, I feel like everything just clicked. It really clicked for all of us as a team because we knew like how much that game meant to, just not only us, but also to like the program. So we knew like coming to that game, it was going to be a dogfight, like they got all the weapons, they got all the talent, and we knew what we was going against. But one thing about us, like we just going to like just fold over and just not compete or battle just because who you have. Like I said, like we got dogs all over the place. And then when it came to Alabama, it was another, oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. And everybody doubted us again. And we just showed you, like, no matter, like, who we have or don't have, we just going to be dogs, just go out and compete. And from them 2 games, I felt like we clicked more as a team. And going into next year, I feel like that's going to help us, like, be motivated to compete with anybody, especially going into our second week of the season.
I love it. And we actually had Amir Hall on the show recently and asked him about when you guys are coming out into Columbus, into the shoe, and, the video of you guys coming out is so hard, right? Like it's good. But when you guys are coming out to a sea of red of 90,000 Ohio State fans and they're out for blood, right? Like they want you guys, they want you bad. That's been 3 years, right? Built up, and they were like, this is our moment to finally, show these guys. But you didn't flinch, even after a year where it didn't go how you thought it was going to go, how you wanted it to go, but you guys didn't flinch. What was your mindset going into that game, and give us a little bit of the feeling of just like walking out into that stadium?
I'm gonna say really before we walked out, I would say everything started with us going back into the tunnel where they kind of just like lined up on like their side of the sideline as we walking back into the tunnel. And they just kind of just like sit right there staring at us, talking trash. And it was just like, who do y'all think y'all are? Like we're not scared of y'all, anything like that. And then it was just like, when we got back into the locker room, you could just feel the energy. Like everybody was in there, turned all the way into the coaches. You would have thought the game was already at halftime, how the way we felt like pregame. And when we came onto the tunnel, it was just like, it was no turning back from there. You can hear the music, music blasting, and you look around, you just with all your brothers, and then we walking into enemy territory, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is a good feeling. And one thing I will say, like, they got a trash stadium, but I don't know, something about playing in that stadium and just like the feeding up in that stadium, just like, it just feels different. And like going out, it just felt like a great moment. It felt so great. And from the snap of the ball, we just knew we had him.
Derrick, you were on the team in 2022 when you guys went into Columbus and beat. I don't know. It just feels like it kind of happens quite frequently nowadays. But you were on the team, and there was that famous Mike Sainristil still kind of sideline speech of like, "Look at them, look at how tight they are. We know we've got this." When did you feel that in November's game? Because I'm sure there was a moment where we were like, "Yeah, we got him."
Definitely, it was the same moment. I remember Ernest Hausman. He kind of gathered us all up, and he was like, I think this was after offense threw a pick on the goal line. Ernest gathered the whole defense up, and he was like, "This is our moment right here. Like, we don't care about anything. We're not going to put this on the offense. We don't care that it was just an interception. We're going to go out here. We're going to get the ball back for the offense." And right then and there, it was just like, you can like, I feel like at that moment, I looked into everybody's eyes, and it was just like everybody was like, nobody wasn't worried. Nobody wasn't like pointing fingers. Nobody was like, "Oh man," we was really like locked in together and signed, like committed to going back out there and getting the ball back for our offense. And that's exactly what we did. And when I remember when I got back to the sideline, I remember I think it was Khalil, man. I think he was like, "Man, we got y'all, man. We want to make sure we get this in the end zone." And they didn't get in the end zone. And one thing about Sabata, he gonna get in there. He gonna get in there. And then we went back out there again on that last final down. And then like before Ohio State came out, we all huddled up and we just said, "Man, this is our last one, man. We're gonna make it special. Don't let them get anything." And that's exactly what we did. And I remember the play before the last final play, Coach Wink called a timeout. And he was like, he been telling us all season, like, this moment, we built for this moment. This year gonna be different, a lot of things. And he just said, like, y'all prepared for this moment. Y'all was ready for this moment. Now go ahead and get a stop, and let's get out of this trash stadium. And exactly what we did, man. And after that, had fun in the middle of the stadium.
So, all right, let's talk about that too. Obviously, it was a big news story. It turned into something leaked, like a law being passed and all that stuff. But I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like you guys are the first people to do that ever, right? Like everybody does that. Baker Mayfield did it a while ago. Texas did it on your field, unfortunately, after they won, right? But when all that was going down, where were you? What was going on? I mean, did you get maced? What happened?
Oh, it's actually kind of crazy because everybody think I was the one who started it. Everybody think I was trying to plant the flag and things like that. I wasn't even trying to plant the flag. It was two parts to like the big situation. First part we was all standing in the middle of the O with the flag and things like that, and then we look back. I think at one point in time I was somewhere on the side. I was breaking the O, crushing the O, stomping on the O. And I look back and I could see them kind of like just coming our way. And I was just so like tired at the moment. I'm telling them like, come on. And next everything escalated. And then everything got broken up. But when everything broken up, it was just like still talking. And I was just like, something to me, I was just like, man, why they feel like they did something just now? So I don't know. I was walking back. I was actually on our way to like our fan section, like the fan and family section. And I was just seeing one of my teammates, Tavi, running around with the flag. And for some reason, someone just told me to get the flag. And I ran over there and I grabbed the flag. And my first thought was to run around the entire field with the flag.
Yeah.
But I looked down that opposite end of the sideline and I was like, oh, I can't go down there. There's too many young guys down there. So my first like thought was, oh, I'm gonna run to the middle of the field. Run through the middle of the field. I get pushed, I get shoved. Once I got pushed and shoved, I turned back around. Now I'm standing in the middle of the next thing next. I feel the coaches, players take a flag on my hand, everybody grabbing me, and I'm like, I'm not even doing nothing. I'm just and it's a guy running around with a flag.
Celebrating the dub. You know, it's nothing.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, obviously, you know, it's one of those things where like they're gonna take it as disrespect, but the reality is they had a lot of time during that game to do something about it, and they didn't. And
It's 60 minutes.
60 total. I mean,
They had
that's
an hour.
That's an hour. As I mean, I'm not a math guy, but that is a full hour. Yeah, you know, and then to go to that point after the game, it just turns into a whole bigger thing. But you know, it's one of those things now. It's four in a row, right? It's one of those things where now they have to come back to Ann Arbor next year, and you guys are reloading. You got Bryce on the other side of the ball for you guys, and a whole lot of new guys coming in on offense, and even some new guys coming in on defense. So I'm excited, man. And then I guess I don't want to make this whole thing about Ohio State, but we'll move on. And but one last question is, when you guys are watching, then after you just beat them, you held them to 10 points, and then they go on this run in the college football playoff. Are you like, who is that team, and where were they on November 24th or whatever the day was? And like, what were the feelings with you and your teammates as you guys are watching them go on that CFP run?
Like, a few games I was kind of like disappointed. I was planning on them to lose a couple of games, but I watched a few of their games. I was like, oh, it's like a different team. And then at the same time, it was like, they really need to thank us. We helped them.
Yeah.
Like, reconnect and rebuild as a team, because after that, like, I don't really know what else to say. Like we helped. Yeah, like we helped.
Something clicked for them that like they, which is just so funny to me, because obviously, you got to congratulate them on the national championship, right? That's, they made a great run. But you just kind of wonder, I guess us as fans sit here and wonder, why didn't that click on that Saturday in Columbus in November, and all that. But you guys were a little just too much to handle. So, all right, well, moving on. So I'm excited for 2025. You guys, like I said, you're reloading. You lose a lot of those guys in the middle, and Josiah. You lose KG, Mason. Who were a huge part of not just that Ohio State game and the Bama game, or not the Bama game, but that Ohio State game. But a huge piece for the last 3 years. What's your mindset? Whether it's you, TJ, any of these new guys that are coming up, Cam Brandt, like, are you guys ready for the next step where it's like, all right, next man up, this is our time?
Yeah, like we talked about it a lot in the locker room this year, like I said, like even like going into that Alabama game, like all of that stuff is like really like tiring of like hearing like, oh, we don't have such and such players. Like no matter what, like we got dogs all across that D line. And I felt very confident with the guys coming in, and also the guys that was here before any new guys came in, like Benny Bennett, dog, before I ever got here. Trey Pierce, he's a young guy. He played his tail off in the Alabama game and throughout the entire season. And you also got guys like Ike, who been here forever and probably haven't seen the field as much, but when he went out in the Alabama game and he had his time to shine, he went out and he played a hell of a game. Then you also got guys on the edge like TJ. I really don't have too much to say about TJ. TJ, he finally got his moment and he took it off for a good run last year, and I'm proud to see him start this year and finally get the opportunity that he really deserved. Cam Brandt, another young guy that's an older guy now, but I'm excited to see what he got, going into this year as well, with being able to get more opportunities on the field.
Let me stop you right there too, because what you just said, like, is it weird that you're now the old guy too?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I've been here and I've been seeing, especially just the edge room. I've been like seeing like different like generations here, and I'm just like, man, it's about that time. I talk to Coach S a lot. I'm like, man, my back hurt, knees hurt. I was like, getting to that time, man. He just like, man, yeah, you getting old. Everybody got training room, coach, weight room. They all got they call me the old head. So they say, man, I'm always complaining about something hurt. So they call me the old head in the group. So
Hey man, don't feel too bad about it. I had to drive an hour and 10 minutes one way yesterday, and my right knee started locking up, and I had to stretch it out. And I don't have the excuse of playing college football or in the future the NFL. So I think you're just fine for being a little sore. Wanted to ask you, man, like kind of going. It's not going back to what we talked about earlier with Ohio State, but like, what's more fun for you? Is it celebrating a sack in front of the big house, or is it quiet in the crowd on the road with a big sack on third down? Like, what gets you more fired up?
Oh, that's tough one. I think I like being on the road more than I like being in the big house. I don't know why. It's just something special about a feeling, going into a different, environment and, just beating on a different team in that stadium and fighting that fast and taking all that momentum and dashing on that field. And, it's just a different feeling. Like, you really can't explain it. You just got to be there in the moment. And, being in a big house is good and all, being in front of the fans and things like that. But if I had to pick, it definitely had to be on the road. I just enjoy it, especially just getting the experience of like being in a different stadium and being in a different state and just seeing different things and just seeing like, like, I don't know, there's different crowds and environment and things like that, I'd say.
Well, real quick to piggyback off that, outside of Ohio State, I'm sure they're probably number one. What's the toughest place that you played on the road?
Penn State.
That's good. That's a good point. I forgot about Penn State. We didn't see Michigan Penn State play last year. I kind of forgot about them.
Yeah, that was probably the toughest game. I remember the offense went out there and I think first drive offense went out there and I'm like, yo, that's loud. I'm looking at Braden McGregor and I'm like, bro, it's loud in here. And Braden, he just took some pre-workout. He over there screaming on the sideline. He's like, bro, I'm like, bro. I was just like, yeah. But yeah, that was the biggest game. Probably biggest crowded stadium I ever been in. I'll say like the loudest stadium I ever been in is when we played TCU. That was my freshman year.
Yeah, Justin and I were there.
Yeah.
I was in the TCU section, man. When Donovan breaks that run, I start like waving to the TCU fans, talking trash.
Yeah.
Didn't end up too well for me, but that place was rocking, man.
I still remember a funny play. Me and Mikey, I be talking to Mikey about it. It was one, I forgot what one. It was a blitz that we had drew up for them, and I remember seeing a call on the sideline, but we had a check call if they had gotten to a certain formation. And I'm looking back and I'm looking at Mikey. I'm like, Mikey, what's the call? I'm like, what we doing? Mikey talking, I can't hear him. I'm talking back. He like, what you saying? I'm like, bro, what I'm doing? He told me just go. And I went and then running into him. And they kind of find out when we all got to the sideline, everybody did the wrong thing. One side was supposed to drop into coverage, the other side was supposed to blitz. Everybody ended up blitzing, and it was totally bad. But that was probably the loudest moment I ever probably had.
I mean, I think that most fans, obviously, they know that the crowd affects, games like that. But the reality is, that it can be so difficult, right? When, when you don't know, when you can't communicate with Mikey, who is the guy that's getting you the call, telling you what to do, that ruins pretty much everything for you, right?
Yeah, but we prepared for a lot. So Coach Moore, he got praise and practice where he playing the music. We got some crazy loud speakers, and he just got them turned all the way up. And that it actually good for just communicating on both sides. On the offense when we out in a different environment, and then they got to deal with the loud crowd, and we got the big house, and we got to deal with the loud crowd. So, it's just kind of already used to it. But
yeah,
I like when it's quiet though.
That makes things a lot easier for sure. So okay, you mentioned Mikey though. How turnt were you when he had those picks in the playoff game? I mean, just watching your guy making plays. I know it was against my Lions, Tanner's Lions, which was unfortunate, but still, I was like, Mikey, not right now. That you can make plays at any other time, but not right now. But for you guys, how cool was of a moment was that?
It was a great moment, I was lucky hoping for them to win, so I was actually happy for them and proud of them. I was just like, I was like, yo, he going crazy. Like 2 interceptions, he balling out. But like I said, man, that always been Mikey. With him playing offense, defense, special teams, like he gonna go out there and he's just gonna ball out, you know. And I was kind of like sick when he played the Ravens and he got a pick, and I was talking to him before the game. I was like, bro, you better not get no pick this game. And he went out there and got a pick, so I was kind of like, you know, I wasn't really as fast, so
That's funny.
like, you know, mad about it, but you know, I'm proud for him, I'm happy for him, things like that, you know, and I feel like he deserved it as well. He worked his tail off a lot, and he studied the game a lot, and you can tell when he go on the field because it all shows.
For sure. And so, you know, he's one of these guys, right? Mason is one of these guys too. You were a 4-star, you know, pretty highly touted recruit, but some of these guys though that are out here and they didn't come in with, you know, a bunch of stars, a bunch of, you know, accomplishments, all that stuff, but they're just balling. And that's been kind of your guys' Michigan mantra here for the past 4 years, right? Where it's like, we don't care who it is. You know, you've said it. Amir said it. A lot of guys have told me this of like, you know, we've got some dogs. You might not realize it, but we've got some dogs just because they're not a big name. Do you guys love that identity that you know, we're not flashy. We don't do whatever. It's just, but we just get the job done.
Yeah, like I feel like that's kind of like culture here. Like yeah, of course we want the big time players, but you know, we always don't get the big time players. I feel like the coaches do a good job of going to try to go get the guys who they see who feel like they got the most potential in. And you know, they feel like when they get here, they just develop them really well. And also like when you get here in Michigan, you'll see it and you'll hear it a lot. It's like, you know, it's like a development like piece of it. Like when you get here, like of course everybody want to start as a freshman, everybody want to play as a freshman, but it's like almost you just gotta waste your time until like you know until your time come. And like for myself, you know, as a freshman, you know, I wanted to play a lot and things like that, and I was always getting frustrated, but at the same time I had to look, and I got guys like Mike Morris who was having a hell of a season, and I couldn't just take that away from him. You had guys like Ayabi who was also, you know, coming in and he was doing good, and I was like, I can't take that from him either. Sophomore year, you got guys like Braden and Jada and Jalen Harrell who was out there killing it. And I'm just like, can't take that from them either. So I'm like, all right, 3rd year is my time. And, you know, I felt like when I was going to go out there, I was going to get my name card and things like that. But, you know, I feel like I ain't had the season that I wanted. But, you know, going into my last and final season, I feel like I'm just going to throw it all into it and, you know, take all the opportunity I can and get out everything I want out of it. So.
Do you see any guys that are, you know, maybe a you know, 1st or 2nd year in the program that you're like, man, if that guy figures it out, like the Big Ten better watch out? Like, is there anybody, you know, that's younger than you that you're like, man, that guy's got all the potential in the world? Because I know there's some athletic freaks in that defensive end room that they've recruited over the last couple of years. So I'd love to know who you think is one of those guys that might break out here soon.
Say a lot of guys older now. That's a lot of guys. I'm just gonna say names. Let's go. Mason Curtis. You know, tall, long, fast. And he learned the playbook really well. You got Brandon Hill.
Does anybody hit harder than him?
No, he probably our hardest hitter on the team, literally.
Every time he makes a tackle, I'm like waiting for a flag. But they're clean.
They're clean, but that shit hurts from the couch when I'm watching, man.
It's crazy when you talk to him, he be like, man, I just want to just put somebody in a body bag. That's really like his mindset, and you gotta respect it, you know. But you got Jai here, he gonna be a dominant player. And it showed last year. You got Dominic Nichols. Like right now, everything pretty much clicking for him right now, and I feel like he's gonna have a good year this year. Let's see who else we got. Trey Pierce. I already talked about Trey. I feel like when everything really come when when it's really his time, everything gonna come for him for sure. Let's go to the offensive side. I ain't got too much to say about Bryce. I feel like Bryce. I feel like Bryce gonna be like, honestly, he might be our best quarterback in Michigan franchise, and I'm gonna stick on that.
I like that. What have you seen from him so far? I know it's only been, a little bit, but I mean, I know that a couple guys have told me like he's all the size, the arm, all of it, like it's as advertised. Is that right?
Yeah. When we was in when we was down Florida for the Alabama Bowl, um, he just looked good out there. He looked like he was already been in the program. He looked like one of us. He looked like he'd been in college. Like he don't look like no normal freshman. Like who just came from out of high school. He looked like well up the size, and he just like he was ready. And now like he in my workout group actually. So like we actually like in the same group, like same little small group. And I'm sitting right there, and I watch him every day, just like work hard, and he listen, and he loves just all the feedback that he get from the players and the coaches, and you can also see him out there again actually working with all his receivers. So I feel like it's gonna be a good thing for him in the next couple of years, also this year as well.
How are the transfers, obviously freshmen coming in, but the transfers too, like how are they kind of buying into the program and the culture and everything that has been built since, you've been here and before you were here over the last, number of years?
I feel like all the guys, they pretty much buying in real well. Nobody ain't come in thinking that he was better than anyone or thinking that, I feel like, like y'all guys don't have this. This is why I'm here. Like now everybody pretty much buying into the standard here in Michigan. And, I think everybody's just ready to play. Right now, I can't really say too much about it, but like we only been together for like a couple of weeks. But like so far, what I've seen, I feel like everybody's pretty much buying in and, connecting with the team. And everybody who's been here is breaking them apart of the team. And they just not just like letting them just like spread out and just be on their own. Like we all, building together.
I love that. So you're a part of a trio of Moores, right? You got Derrick Moore, Rod Moore, Coach Moore,
Freddie.
Oh, sorry. There's four.
Quartet.
More? Are there more Moores?
Nah, that's it.
That's it. So have you guys? You should start a podcast. I feel like the Moores. It should start a
That would be good. That is a good idea. That would be cool.
We don't need the competition, man.
That
would be kind of crazy though. But I'm big bro out of all of them. So
are you big bro to Coach Moore too?
yeah. I hope you know.
I mean, he is. What's cool about Coach Moore, from what I have gathered, is he is a big brother to a lot of you guys. You know, I don't know if he's even made it to Unc status because he's still pretty young. But it definitely gives off that vibe, which is kind of funny because Coach Harbaugh was great, but it was just a very different vibe. And then you bring in Coach Moore, who is that older brother. What does Coach Moore bring to the table for you guys, just in terms of that like culture and atmosphere?
He bring it a lot. It's just like everybody here got a good connection with Coach Moore. He's a good guy. He's not hard to talk to at all, and he's willing to hear what everybody got to say. If something that he may have put out there or somebody else put out there, and we don't feel comfortable about it, we can all go to him and talk to him as a team and things like that. And he's just like also he's young, so like he knows like how all of us like move around and think also. So it's like he got nicknames for the older guys and the young guys. He call the young guys YNs, and then he look at us and he call us old YNs. So so it's kind of funny though. But I feel like right now he's trying to rebuild the standard, like I said, and right now we got a standard right now, team over me. So putting the team before yourself. And you probably can see it right now on the internet and things like that. But he also wants to, like, before we step in this building, or when you step in this building, think of the team. Like, what you doing today for the team? Are you going hard in the workout for the team? Or are you taking care of your body for the team? Yes, it's for you, but you also got to think, whatever you're doing best for yourself, you're doing for the team. So he said that a lot. Just whatever you do, think about the team. So he tell us that a lot. So before you come in the building, before you wake up, of course, thank God and think about your family. But before you step in the buildings, think about the team.
I love it. And then what about the other two more? So you got Freddie, who's kind of the up and coming guy, right? He had even a little breakout in that Bama game. He obviously got some run this year. And then you bring him back Rod, who was instrumental in 2023. Obviously, was hurt all of 2024. What are those two guys bringing to the table for 2025?
For Rod, really just leadership. He's a guy who know the standard. He been here before I've been here. He know the standard. He know his defense. He know the team. He know everything. And just having him in the room with all of us, it kind of just brings the joy, because it's like, all right, Rod going to speak up. He going to talk. He going to check somebody when he not doing something right, and that's something that we need. A lot of us don't talk as much, but Rod going to be the person that's going to talk. He's going to be the person that's going to check somebody. And when it come to time for us to play on the field, Rod going to go out there and make a play for the team. So it kind of just brings the joy of just having him, behind me, and also on the same route with me. And Fred, I'm just ready to see what he got to, go into this season. We joke about it a lot, but I tell him, like, every time he mess up, I'll be like, that was yours, Fred. That's his goal. And like anytime he joke around or he play around, I always remind him, I'll be like, that was yours, Fred, lock in. That was yours. And like, at certain points we be having like little competitions in the weight room. And I'll be like, man, you got 1,000 yards, man. If you don't compete this, you selling it for like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you force a quarterback to throw interceptions. So that's really is, man.
I like it. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously really excited about 2025. I think it's time, obviously, you win the Ohio State game, you win the Alabama game, and it kind of gives a different feeling going into this off season, right? We've talked about that a lot of just how that turned around. Bryce coming into town, that obviously makes people excited. But ultimately, what from you yourself and from as a leader of this team now, what can people expect from Michigan in 2025? Whether I'm not telling you, you don't have to guarantee a national championship or whatever else, but like just from what are we gonna, when we're watching Michigan football, what are we gonna see?
You're just gonna see like really just like a well-connected team. A team that's gonna go out there and dominate on both sides of the ball. And really win every game. Win the big games, get back to the Big Ten championship, win that, go to the playoffs, win that, win another national championship. So, it's not really much I can really talk about it, but, we got to go on the field and just show. So, that's all I can really say. We want to see a well and better connected team, a team that's together, and everybody going out there and playing for each other. So,
Derrick, I've got kind of off-topic question here, but I got to know. It's a 2-part question, and it may be the same answer. Who's the best trash talker you play with or have played with at Michigan, and who's the funniest trash talker that you played with?
The best trash talker. Oh, at Michigan. Kind of crazy.
There's got to be somebody that could get under your skin, right?
At Michigan.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, do you talk shit to each other when you're in practice?
We talk a lot of trash to the offense. Offense ain't talking, but probably Dono. Gotta be Donovan. I always talk. It's crazy because I talk trash to Donovan, And he always gotta see something back. And then it's like once when I finally drop into coverage and I see him going out to the flat or anything like that, I'd be like, yeah, bro, you ain't gonna get the ball. And he'd be like, I would have burned you up or something like that. You go on and talk, and I'd be like, man, stop talking. If I text you in practice, you be like, man, you better not touch me or you gonna get kicked out. I said, okay. I'll probably tackle him and see what happens. And nothing happened.
I mean, I know Donald's definitely got the biggest, I would say one of the biggest personalities just in general.
Yeah.
I know if I'm right about this, Orge does too, though. I know he's tripping up.
I forgot about Orgy. It's actually crazy because Orgy, he run the ball a lot. So in our defense, we gotta watch the quarterback a lot. And he do a lot of QB reads, and I'll be more sticked on him of like to make him like let the ball go. And like mid play, he'd be like, D Moore, bro, move. Like just let me just keep the ball. Like you're cheating the play. And I'll be like, bro, I'm not cheating the play. You're not about to outrun me. He outran me one time, and I ain't gonna never let that happen again because he was talking trash for a whole entire week. So
I like it. I mean, who is there somebody now on this 2025 team that's got a big personality? Any of those? I feel like Jair actually does has a pretty big personality too.
Man, he got crazy personality. Here's something different. I don't know. I can't. It's different. He just want to talk something crazy. You got Samaj. I forgot about Samaj.
Samaj, that's right. So,
man, Samaj to the DBs. Samaj probably the craziest trash talker to the DBs. Samaj gonna say whatever you want to say, and that's nobody ain't gonna stop him. He just gonna say whatever it's on his head. He gonna say it, and
I feel like he's one of those guys too. Like he could get locked down, he's still talking trash the whole time.
He gonna talk regardless. Like he gonna fight you. He gonna talk. He ain't gonna let it go. He gonna next day talk more trash, whatever. Man, he just gonna talk. I remember one time I had to like drop into like coverage, and I had seen him. I don't know if that swat the ball down or whatever. And I was like, yeah, bro, all that locked up. He's like, man, shut up, man. Give me a one-on-one. Give me a one-on-one. I'm like, bro, I'm not about to stick you in a one-on-one, man. It's like a lot of back and forth from there, but
yeah. He'd be mad at me for saying this too, but it's funny because he's such a little dude too. Like, especially compared to you, right? Like, but it's he's gotta act a little bit bigger.
I mean, honestly though, like I feel like every single receiver and defensive back in the history of mankind has had some level of delusional confidence. Yeah. Just like the same way a corner will get beat, the balls overthrown, and they'll still like sheathe the sword, and it's like, all right, man, come on.
Yes,
it is what it is. But hey, man, well, thank you so much for joining. This was fantastic. We're so excited to watch you play here in 2025, and I just think that it was huge for you and TJ and some of these other guys to Rod, some of these other guys to be the pinnacle of this, not only just the defense, but the team that's coming back. Because, the thing is that the reality of why you guys were so successful from 21 to 23 is because, and obviously you still had success in 24, but was because of, the culture, the guys that, the leadership, the guys that set the example, and it didn't come from Coach Harbaugh at all times. It came as a player-led program, and I'm very excited to hear that Sharon is keeping that going, and for you to be a part of it now.
Yeah.
All right, man. So tell everybody where they can follow you for your socials.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Big A D Moore. Pretty much the same. Try to keep it nice and simple for everybody. So if you want to find me, Big A D Moore, Instagram and Twitter. That's all I'll really be on. But I appreciate y'all guys having me, and I'm ready to show y'all what Michigan got in store this year.
We're excited, man. We think about Michigan football we're 8 months away, so we're thinking about Michigan football every waking moment. Like, hey, can we tailgate? Can we go to the games? Is it September yet? So we're excited to watch you play, man, and know that you're going to be doing some great things in the big house. We're very excited.
Appreciate it.
All right. For us, you can follow us at Blue by 90 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Blue by 90 Podcast on YouTube, and blueby90.com. We appreciate you. Go Blue.
Go Blue.